Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for Financial Literacy Month, we have Shyam Pradheep to discuss how to innovate financial education to meet the needs of the next generation. Shyam is the General Manager of Zogo. Shyam, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
You got it. What are your thoughts on the current financial literacy landscape in the U.S.?
Oh, I think I have two separate thoughts about that. I mean, from a high level, we never have to convince people that financial literacy is important. People generally know that already. But the truth is, normally, I believe that it needs to be regulated and also taught in schools. But that doesn't really seem to be happening. I mean, there's piecemeal evidence that it's happening. A good example is Florida, where, the legislature has passed a law saying that it has to be taught in schools. But again, this tends to be, at the state level and not really federal. And this tends to further inequality in terms of who has access to what education, depending on where you are. And then this leads to, the second part of this, which is if people are not getting in their schools, they turn to other sources. So social media is an example over there, but depending on who you follow, it could be biased information or just straight up inaccurate. And that's really the problem over here. And I mean, if you're talking about landscape, we are in Financial Literacy Month, like you just mentioned. And I have a love-hate relationship with that because, yes, it is so important that, we have a month dedicated to this, but it's not like we can stop talking about finances the second it's May 1st.
I would agree with you 100%. We make such a focus on STEM education, and it's great that we're doing science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But if you can't budget a basic family budget or even start at savings, that's not going to help, to your point, with the wealth gap or, allowing people to build generational wealth. So my question to you is, how do you innovate financial education to meet the needs of the next generation?
That's a great question. Really, there are four key parts to this, right? The first one is accessibility. You want financial literacy to be accessible. You don't want it to just be found in very specific places for very specific people. The second part is about digestible. Finance is scary, right? In general, it's jargon heavy, it's long form, and it just tends to turn people off. The third one is you have to make sure that it's engaging. Again, it is a very scary, especially no one really talks about money. And if you do, it's only with friends or family. And as a result, it's just becomes so hard, and you have to have it be engaging for people to really engage with it. And the last one is effectiveness. We really want to focus on long form knowledge retention and confidence because, it's not just a checkbox solution where you read about interest rates, you know what it is, and it solves all your problems.
Tell us about some data from Zogo that dives into where Americans are consuming their financial advice, because you made the point earlier, to get it on social media or from influencers, they're in a business to make money based on how many followers they are and how they're presenting their information. It doesn't necessarily mean it's accurate or right for each individual investor and saver. So where do you see them getting their information from?
So for the most part, when we asked our users, and we have about 1.5 million users who use our flagship product, they tend to say that about 30% of them say that they get it from accredited sources. So for example, that could be financial advisors or institutions and things like that. And the rest, it's a mix of, for example, friends and family is pretty high with 40%. And then the others fall into some form of social media, or we get nothing at all. And that's really the problem. And you hit the nail on the head over there, which is who are you getting it from matters, because everyone, there's an incentive behind who is offering it to you, as well as the kind of knowledge they're giving out. And that can make all the difference in the world, especially because you want the financial knowledge that you consume to help you where you're at, not just, serve the agenda of the person who's giving it to you.
What is Zogo doing to make financial education fun and easy and rewarding for all?
Honestly, go back to the same four pillars, right? It is accessibility. We're a mobile first application, and we really focus on making sure that we are in every single pocket everywhere. And that's a key tenet of Zogo. The second one is digestible. We are short, bite-sized, and understandable. We're trying to strip the jargon from it to make sure that people are able to understand what they're reading, to see how it impacts them and affects them in their daily lives. The third one is engagement. We provide rewards. We provide an actual incentive in terms of gift cards for people to learn important financial information. And we've gamified it as well. So we have everything from streaks, points, etc., so that people are able to engage with it and aren't dozing off or falling asleep after reading the first line. And finally, effectiveness is really important for us. So we have a pre and post test to really measure whether or not, hey, are people learning something? Are people able to retain this knowledge? And also action oriented. Are people able to apply this knowledge, and are we able to give them the tools for them to be able to apply that knowledge? And we ask survey questions regularly to be able to gauge, should we tweak our education to make sure that, people are actually able to retain what they want to retain, to be able to help them and serve them in their needs where they're at right now.
Okay, Shyam, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.